Hello chess family, it's me, National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over 5 Vienna traps. Let's go to get started. The first one I like to call is the Vienna gap accepted trap. So here we go. We start with e4, e5, knight c3, the Vienna. Here we play knight f6. This is not the best way to play, and here we get to play pawn to f4. The Vienna gambit over here, and after pawn takes over here, well, now we get to play the very strong pawn to e5, and black really has nothing better than to go ahead and run backwards. Literally, anywhere that this knight tries to go to, g4, e4, or d5, or h5, here, well, we're just going to be capturing with our queen or with the knight. So the knight has to run backwards, and now we play knight f3, keeping up our development. d6, trying to get rid of that strong pawn here. As long as the pawn's here, the knight can't go to its great square of f6. d4, pawn takes, and now a very nice move that not many people would see. I know I myself did not see here. You get to play actually bishop to b5 check here. And this looks like a weird move because, well, there's lots of different ways to defend here. And typically if there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways or 5 different ways to actually block, typically none of them are good. But this gives us a distinct advantage at 0.7. And here black chooses the best move, pawn to c6 to defend. And here we bring the bishop back to c4. Okay, black says thank you. Let's go to make a trade. They're getting greedy here. And now we go ahead and play the very good move again. Bishop takes on f4. And this sets up the trap perfectly. I mean, who here is not going to be taking that knight? That knight just looks nice and juicy. So here they're going to go ahead and play pawn takes knight. And now it is white to win with a +6 move. White to move. Feel free to push pause if you want to. If not, enjoy the show. Here we go. We get to play bishop takes on f7 check here. King to e7. Of course, someone's saying, hey, can't we just take? Taking here would lose the queen immediately and just be in a lost position, if not getting checkmated pretty soon. So here, queen, go back. King went to e7, keeping guarding over here. And now we're going to keep attacking here. Queen e2 check. Is that just a free bishop? It is not, unfortunately. King takes on f7, and here we continue the attack. Knight to e5 check, and here there's just no good square to move to. Here, if the king goes to f6, we have very good ideas here, but we're going to finish this off with a double exclam, a brilliant move right here with bishop to g5 check. That's a big one. And here there's nothing better than just going ahead and taking. And taking here is going to lead to knight f7 check, making him walk into a fork using the attraction idea. All right, let's go on to our next one, the Vienna trap. Here I like watch out for f2. Here we go. We do e4, e5, knight c3, the Vienna. Knight c6, bishop c4. Definitely a better way to try to play this. Bishop c5, a symmetrical variation. Queen to g4, and this is a very, very dubious kind of looking move here. And here, well, you get some people that will play the wrong move here immediately. But here we're going to assume they play the right move of queen f6. What was the wrong move? Here, some people will play d5 for the double attack for the bishop attacking the queen and the pawn attacking over here. Unfortunately, this just does not work. The queen takes on g7, attacking the rook, which is unprotected. The only way to defend is queen to f6, and now white's just going to be up an extra pawn here too. Queen takes, and then knight takes d5 here, forking the knight, and of course c7 check here. So here we look at a reasonable move here by black, which is queen f6, which is attacking on f2 check. Okay, here white plays the amazing move here, knight to d5. I bet you most people didn't see this because, well, when the queen came to f6, not only was she attacking on f2, but she was defending on g7. But wait a second, we didn't defend f2. This is the best way to play. White is at +1 here. Queen takes f2 check, king over to d1, and here there's no good moves for the queen to move to. And we have 3 good threats here. One is to attack the queen, one is to take the pawn on g7 to attack the rook, and knight takes on c7 check here. There's just no good way to defend all these threats. The best move was played here, which is king to f8. And now, well, let's go ahead and harass the queen. Knight h3 attacking the queen. She cannot move anywhere over here on the king side, so she has to run away over here to the center. Oh, h5 got played. A little Inter Samoa here, but the queen just moves away. And now queen goes to d4. But that's okay. The queen is almost getting trapped here with pawn to d3. Do you see the move how we would just trap the queen here? Here, there's a few different tries here, but pawn c3 looks like the easiest right here. After c3, the queen has nowhere to move to, and, well, we're just winning. So here, black plays bishop to b6. The idea is to defend the c7 pawn, but also give an escape square for the queen. Okay, here we go. Rook to f1 got played, attacking on f7 right here. Makes sense. Also stopping the queen from going to this f2 square, because this knight's going to be helping us out pretty soon. f6 got played because, well, you could probably see that the bishop and rook were eyeing out this f7 square. And here, knight takes on f6. Let's just break through here. And here, black plays a terrible move. G takes f6 here. That's supposed to be a double question mark there. Now it is actually white to move and checkmate in class. So feel free to push pause if you want to. If you haven't already, give us that like and subscribe. All right, what do we do here? Here we play rook takes f6, knight takes, force move, queen takes f6 check, king over to e8. And here, well, there's two different checkmates in 3. We're going to do one of them. Here we have queen f7 check, king over to d8. And now remember, queen cannot checkmate by herself. Bishop g5 check, knight back, and queen takes on e7. All right, on to our third one. Remember that Vienna trap always has that f7 weakness. Here is a quickie. Here we go. We start with e4, e5, knight c3, the Vienna. Knight c6, bishop c4, knight to a5. Remember, a knight on the rim is dim. And here we're going to punish it with the beautiful bishop takes on f7 check here. Here, all variations lead to Rome. Here we go. King takes, queen h5 check. Remember, this goes into those variations. Do not move the f-pawn. And here, there's many moves for black to try, but we're going to go with pawn to g6 here. And here we get to play queen takes on e5 here, attacking the rook and the knight here on a5. And that's pretty much just going to be game over right there. Yep, here bishop g7 gets played, and we take the knight over here. There's some other variations here, but, well, just because we're trying to save time, we're going to go ahead and skip those. I might do an individual video for this one later. All right, another one up. Number 4 right here, Vienna bad fork right here. This is one of my favorite ones. We start with e4, e5, knight c3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, pawn to d3, bishop c5, a very classical way to develop. Pawn to f4, we got our Vienna move, which I love to play, f4 right there. And g6 gets played, knight f3, and black makes the mistake and plays knight to g4. And you're saying, well, how is this a bad move? Here, we're threatening knight to f2 or even bishop f2 check here. And believe it or not, white can punish black right away here. What do you play here as white? Here, we punish him with the amazing knight to g5 here. And you're saying, what's going on right here? I can just fork right here. Yes, they're attacking me, but I attack them first. Well, here we're going to look at the bad move of knight to f2, a bad fork. And now white punishes them with queen to h5, develop with a threat. And now we threaten checkmate on f7. Of course, we can't take the rook right away, so black goes ahead and plays pawn g6, attacking the queen. And here white punishes them thusly. Bishop takes f7 check, king e7, knight d5 check, king over to d7. And here we'd love to play this queen h3 check, but this rook is in the way. So bishop e6 check, king back to e8, queen to h6, and now black makes that blunderful move, knight takes on h1. Now we get that h3 square back, so now it's an easy checkmate in 2. Feel free to pause if you want to. If not, here we go. Bishop check, king over to d7, and now remember, we said h3 was open. Now we get to play queen to h3 for check and mate. All right, here's our final one right here, the Vienna trap, the queen pin. A very nice one here, if I do say so myself. Here we go with e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, pawn to f4, the Vienna gambit over here. Pawn takes e5, queen e7. Remember, I said we take a look at this idea later on. Well, now the idea is, well, after we take, we don't want to move the knight back, so we play queen e7 to pin the pawn to the king, so we can't take. So white plays queen e2 here, so now pawn takes is being threatened since the queen is now blocking the king. So now the knight must move, and again, just like last time, there's no good square, so the knight moves back to g8. But now we just have some very strong moves here. We're going to go ahead and start off with knight f3. Makes sense, develop knights before bishops. And here black plays that wah-wah. He plays pawn to d6, and now it is white to move and win. What do you play here? All right, let's punish him. Here we get to play knight to d5 here. Beautiful move. And this is attacking both the queen and the pawn here on c7. And unfortunately, there's just no good move here. For instance, well, in the game, queen to d8 got played because there's really nothing else. If we play queen e6, simple chess right here, right? Knight takes on c7, just forks the king and queen. Okay. Well, there's no other square for the queen to move to, right? So the queen went back to d8. And now we punish him with pawn takes check, king over to d7 because it was a discovery. Unless you want to go ahead and block with a piece and lose it for a pawn, this was going to be your best choice. And now we punish him again with knight to e5 check, king takes on d6. And yeah, I mean, at this point, there was nowhere else really to run, right? King e8 walks into these knight checks. Oh gosh, was there another move here? King takes on d6 gets played. And yep, I mean, I guess, again, king e6 is another way to play. But even then, knight takes on f4 check, it just gets played. So here we finish up with king takes on d6, and this one's not hard. Here we just play knight to f7 check, and we're doing a nice family fork here. I mean, there's even checkmate variations later on in the game. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, give us that like and subscribe, and let me know which one was your favorite Vienna trap. Or if you have more that I can share, please let me know. We'll see you in the next video.